Hello, this is Spartan Commander, and this is the 445th Rome Total War Brotherhood game that I've put onto YouTube. Just before I introduce the teams, I've got a small announcement to make, and that is to say that I'm amazed to tell you that this Brotherhood Rome Total War YouTube channel has just received over 80,000 views. In fact, the exact number that I've just checked is 80,051 views. I think for a game that in a few months' time is going to be 16 years old, to get over 80,000 views is is really good. And I hope you're all still enjoying the battles as much as you ever did. We always try to put the best battles on for you to watch. And as I say, I'm really amazed that we've got over 80,000 views. Okay, our first teammate is Brotherhood member Mars. Now Mars has got 6 cavalry, 4 Silver Shield Legionnaires and 9 Silver Shield Pikes. Okay, so that's I think that's a reasonably balanced army there. So look at the upgrades on his pikes there, and I think he's got mixed upgrades. He's got 8 upgrades, 2 experience stripes, gold shield, gold attack on some of his units, and just gold shield, gold attack on others. And there's his Silver Shield Legionnaires. I see he's just got 5 upgrades on them. So my guess is they're probably going to be the Piler Shield units there, just to soak up enemy Pilers. Let's say he's got 6 cavalry. Let's have a look at the upgrades on his cavalry. Okay, he's just got 6 upgrades. So he's just got gold shield, gold attack on his cataphract cavalry. Now that's not a bad army, but have you noticed anything? No archers. Remember, those pikes are extremely susceptible to missile damage, and he's got no archer cover there. Okay, our next teammate is Brotherhood member Bark, who has bought the Pontus faction. Now Pontus may well be looked upon by some as a lesser 31k faction, but Bark uses this faction as a faction of choice, and he actually performs extremely well with Pontus on the 31k battlefield. Now Bark has got 13 pikes, 3 archers and 3 chariots. Okay, just have a look at his chariots here. Remember, these chariots have got big attacking specification and bring a massive fear factor, taking the morale away from enemy troops and making them more susceptible to rout. But they are a double-edged sword. If they run amok, they seem to be more powerful when they run amok, and they then are a menace to both friend and foe alike. Okay, when they run amok, they just chop down friendly troops as well as enemy troops. And as I say, when they do run amok, they seem to be even more powerful than in normal mode. So as I say, bringing chariots is a double-edged sword. Sometimes they can be battle-winning troops, but other times they can be an absolute menace on the battlefield there. So that's a reasonably balanced Pontus army. Okay, our next teammate is Brotherhood member Steve Longshanks, who's bought the Greek cities faction. He's got 12 Spartans and 6 Cretans. Just have a look at the upgrades on his Spartans. Okay, he's got mixed upgrades on some of his Spartans. He's got 7 upgrades. That's an experience stripe, gold shield, gold attack. Now we know these Spartans are excellent with just gold shield, gold attack. You put an experience stripe on them, and that kind of makes them super troops there. And as I say, other units he's just got gold shield, gold attack on. So as I say, he's got mixed upgrades with his Spartans. Let's say he got 6 long-range Cretan archers. So it'd be interested to see how well that army performs during the course of the battle. And our 4th teammate is myself, Spartan Commander, who's got his very old Rome army of 12 infantry and 6 cavalry. So I think we've got quite a diverse team here, with Seleucide, Pontus, Greek cities and Rome. And as I say, this is a night battle, an unusual night battle, and it should be a great one for you to watch. Okay, at this stage of the battle, I thought we'd have a look at Bark's battle formation here. If you notice here, can you see his forward units have got 7 upgrades, an experience stripe, gold shield, gold attack on his forward units of his battle formation. We move back into his second line there, and you can see he's still got 7 upgrades, an experience stripe, gold shield, gold attack on his first 2 lines of his battle formation. If we move back to his third line now, you'll see that he's got 8 upgrades, 2 experience stripes, gold shield, gold attack, and he's got those 8 upgrades on his 4th battle line as well. So that's staggered upgrades there. See, the enemy will, the first forward units there will take the Pilers and make first contact with the enemy. The tired enemy troops then will fight through those and then come up against his more elite, well upgraded troops there at the rear of his battle formation. So it's nice to see staggered upgrades in the formation, and I think that formation should do well during the course of the battle. And here is the other team. We have Brotherhood member Lando. Now Lando has got 17 infantry and 3 cavalry, including his cavalry armoured general. 17 infantry. So as you can see, this army is very infantry loaded, very infantry heavy there. Think about all the pilers that those infantrymen could throw in there. And of course, he's got his old school Roman armoured cavalry general. Now, as I said to you before, as you know, 10 years ago, to maybe 10 years ago, we all used to bring this as our general before most of us switched to having an infantry general. So as I say, this is genuinely old school, as we've seen Lando bring his old school general quite a lot on the battlefield recently. And as I say, it's nice to see old school still works on the 2020 Rome Total War battlefield there. So I say, that's an interesting army there. Only 2 heavy cavalry though. Will that 17 lot of infantry there make up for the only 2 cavalry? We'll have to wait and see. Their next teammate is Brotherhood member Mad King, who's got the Macedon faction. Now Mad King has got 13 pikes, 3 archers and 4 cavalry. Okay, so 13 pikes, 3 archers and 4 cavalry. Unusual to see Mad King bring Macedon. Let's have a look at the upgrades on his troops there. His battle formation there. Can you see he's got, unusually he's got his higher upgraded troops at the front of his battle formation there. So he's got 8 upgrades, and then his second battle line there has only got 6 upgrades. Gold shield, gold attack. And as I say, if you look at the upgrades on his troops, they are staggered upgrades, but unusually the way that he's actually stacked that battle formation. So it'll be interesting to see how well that battle formation does during the course of the battle. And he's just got gold shield, gold attack on his cavalry, as I think he spent most of his money on upgrades for his infantry. And he's got 3 Cretan archers. Unusual upgrades there. It'll be interesting to see how well it does. Okay, their third teammate is someone who's called himself Sinan of Macedon, but is in fact Malta. A lot of you will know Malta. He's got 12 infantry, 3 archers and 5 cavalry. Okay, let's have a look at the upgrades on his infantry. If you notice here, can you see his infantry have got 7 upgrades: an experienced stripe, gold shield, gold attack. Now believe me, having an experienced stripe on your infantry really can make a difference during the course of the battle, especially towards the end of the battle when troops are tired and exhausted and things like that. That experienced stripes keeps you coming fighting there. And as you can see, his cavalry's only got gold shield, gold attack on because he spent most of his money on his infantry upgrades there. So it'll be interesting to see how well that army does. As I say, good upgrades on his infantry, and that may well carry the day during the course of the battle. Okay, their fourth teammate is Brotherhood member Conan. Now Conan has got 7 archers, 8 infantry and 4 cavalry. Okay, 7 archers, 8 infantry and 4 cavalry. Now have a quick look up on his cavalry. Right, and look at the upgrades on his cavalry. 8 upgrades. So that's 2 stripes, gold shield, gold attack. Now remember, this cavalry does really good with just gold shield, gold attack. You put 2 experience stripes on them and that kind of makes them super cavalry. Okay, and also if you notice here, he's also got good upgrades on his infantry. 7 upgrades on his infantry, an experienced stripe, gold shield, gold attack. Okay, so he might only have a small army, but they are well upgraded. His infantry and cavalry are extremely well upgraded there. So it'd be interesting to see how well he does. He's got his 7 archers there, and of course he's got the old school Roman armoured cavalry general, the same as Lando has. Okay, so it'll be interesting to see how well they use them there. So there's their team, 3 Romes. We know that Lando and Conan can be both very aggressive on the RTW battlefield, so it'll be interesting to see how well they do during the course of this battle. Okay, right at the very beginning of this battle here, you can see that Conan, being his usual aggressive attacking self here, is moving his archers forward here. Remember, these Roman archer auxiliaries are very good. They got good long range and do a lot of damage. And you can see here, he's running his archers forward to try and target the Seleucides opposite him. Okay, now remember, Mars' Seleucid army's got no archers of his own. So to cover his pikemen, who are extremely susceptible to archer or missile damage in general, he may well need assistance from his allies there, who may well send their archers over to help here. Okay, now remember, this is a night battle, so the actual default of archers' arrows are fire arrows. Okay, so unless you change them yourself, the archers will just shoot fire arrows, as it is a night battle. Okay, can you see the fire arrows there that Conan's shooting in there to those Seleucid troops? But look at Conan's archers there. Are they a little bit exposed to a cavalry hit? What do you think? I think the Seleucid general thinks they are. Look at him running forward with his cataphract cavalry there, looking to take out Conan's archers if he can. Let's just pause the game for a second. Now if you notice here, can you see that Conan has changed from the default fire arrows to normal arrows? Now remember that normal arrows do more damage than fire arrows. Fire arrows, what they're used for really is to take the morale away from fighting troops. Okay, so they're more susceptible to routing, but they do less damage. Whereas normal arrows, they do more damage than the fire arrows, and that's why Conan, using his years of experience here, has switched from the default fire arrows, because it's a night battle, to the normal arrows there that do more damage. Okay, now Conan's got his cavalry a long way away from his archers here, so he could sustain a lot of casualties if the Seleucid general presses home that cavalry attack. Okay, but the Seleucid general is going to be a little bit desperate here, look, because he's got no archer cover of his own. He needs to take as many of those archers out as he can before they inflict more casualties on his pikemen. See that Seleucid cavalry going in and bang, and it smashes into those archer units there. Okay, so they've actually caused a lot of damage to those Julii archers there and routed one unit. Okay, you can see Conan moving his infantry and cavalry forward there to counter the Seleucid cavalry, but the Seleucid cavalry general Mars now is pulling his cavalry back. He's done the damage that he's wanted to there. Okay, just pause the game for a second. Now if you notice here, just like to show you a good bit of teamwork here by Steve Longshanks. He's brought his Cretan archers over here to cover his Seleucid ally. He knows his Seleucid allies' pikemen are extremely susceptible to missile damage, so he's brought his archers over here to try and cover his Seleucid ally there against Conan's massive amount of archers. Okay, so that's a nice bit of teamwork there by Stephen. As I say, you can see the Seleucid general here has brought his cavalry back there, and now what I'm thinking here is that our Seleucid ally here is going to suffer a heck of a lot of casualties from those archers. So maybe the best thing for Steve and Mars to do is to attack Conan here. What do you think? Okay, Conan's a little bit away from his ally there, although I think Malta has seen that and he's starting to move his troops over towards Conan, but Conan is a little bit away from his nearest ally. So maybe Steve and Mars here may well decide to attack Conan. They don't just want to stand there and get shot to pieces by the mass amount of archers that Conan's got. So really, maybe attacking Conan might be the best strategy here for Mars and, I say, with Steve here on this left flank of ours. As I say, remember those Seleucid pikemen are extremely susceptible to any kind of missile damage here. If they stand around, they get shot to pieces. So really, maybe it might be better to take the battle to the enemy here and attack Conan. My guess is though that Conan will retreat the moment he sees Mars and Steve moving towards him. That would be the best tactical thing to do. He doesn't want to stand there and get engulfed by enemy troops. I see Conan here using his general up, causing mayhem and mischief and disruption there with his cavalry general. That's what you can do with the old school cavalry general if you're very good with the way that you use him there. But as I say, I think Steve and Mars here may well consider attacking Conan here. He is a little bit isolated from his nearest ally, but my guess is as soon as Conan sees him coming towards him, he will back his army off, which is the best thing to do there. As I say, early on in the battle, you notice that Conan did switch from fire arrows to normal arrows there. And as I say, the reason he's done that is because normal arrows do more damage. As I say, fire arrows is what really you want to use into the rear of engaged enemy troops to take morale away from them, so they're more susceptible to routing. Okay, you can see Lando's brought his cavalry, his armoured cavalry general over here, trying to attract expensive arrows to be shot at him, knowing that he's already going to suffer any casualties at all. That's why you might think, why is he running his cavalry unit around there like that? But as I say, like we've seen in other battle videos there, he's trying to attract expensive Cretan archers to fire their expensive arrows at him, and they probably won't do any damage, and they'll just kind of waste their arrows. Okay, so you know Steve can be very aggressive with Greek cities here, and this is what he looks like he's going to do. He is going now for Conan's army. Very aggressive attacking move with Greek cities here, trying to make them best of their attacking specification. Now, guess is here, Conan's going to back off. I don't think he'll want to receive a head-on attack from Greek cities, so that's why I'm thinking Conan may well back off here. Okay, and that's what he's doing. See, what Steve would have loved is for Conan to stand his ground there, and then the Greek cities will probably carve a path through Conan's army, but Conan's too wily for that. You got too many years experience to let the Greek cities do that, so he's pulled back. If you notice here, can you see Mars is bringing his pikemen over here as well to support Steve, and plus you've got the Seleucide tanks of the ancient world, these cataphracts coming over here as well. Okay, so Steve switched targets here now. Can you see he's going actually for Malta, but Malta's also doing the right thing here in backing his army off. He doesn't want to take Greek cities on head on either. Okay, the Seleucid cavalry looked like he was going to charge through into Conan's cavalry there, but then Conan started to move his infantry over, so he decided to pull his cavalry back. Okay, so I say there's a lot of action going on here on the left flank. Let's pause the game for a second here. So as you can see here, Steve would like to hit either of those targets there, maybe Conan or Malta with his Greek cities. You can see that Mad King's brought his Macedon army over here to support his allies there to counter the Seleucid threat, but Lando is moving over here on our right flank. Now if you notice here, we need our Pontus ally there to stand on the flank there to stop Lando attacking our Seleucid allies' flank there. So Pontus needs to get onto that flank there to stop the Julii attacking his units there. Can you see I'm moving my Scipii army over here to this left flank to counter Conan's army? Okay, so I'm running my cavalry and infantry over here to try and counter Conan's army, as I think Steve's probably going to go for Malta's army here, as you can see, right? See Steve here advancing towards Malta's army there with his Greek city units. Now his left flank here, where Conan is, could be exposed to attack. Okay, so I'm running my infantry over as fast as I can. You can see our Seleucid ally here, Mars, running his pikemen forward there to try and engage Macedon and the Julii troops there as well. Okay, let's just pause the game for a second here. So as I say, you can see I'm running my infantry and cavalry over to this flank as fast as I can here to try and counter Conan. We've got Mars has got his Seleucid cataphracts there ready to attack. But if Conan moves forward here, he could go into the rear and flank of his Steve's engaged troops. Okay, so Steve's flank is a bit exposed there. Okay, yeah, we got the cataphract cavalry there, but against infantry, I don't know whether our Mars ally will want to send that in. And also on our right flank here, can you see the enemy Julii here could attack Mars's Seleucid troops on that right flank. Pontus needs to get his army over there to defend our right flank against that Julii attack on our Seleucid ally. Okay. Now at the back here you can see Lando here using his cavalry units. Remember, he only had 2 heavy cavalry units here. He may well target the Pontus archers there, but there's Pontus chariots up behind those archers, so he might be taking a bit of a risk if he attacks them. But as I say, you can see I'm running my Scipii ally over to this left flank here to try and neutralise Conan's attack. But if Conan moves forward, which he looks like he's going to do here, okay, he can then crash into the flank and rear of Steve's Greek city units. My guess is that Steve will see that though and may well move units over to defend his flank. But as I say, that's Steve's in a awkward position there with Conan moving up like that. Okay, let's just pause the game for a second here. So as I say here, you can see at the back, can you see that both Lando's cavalry general there and his cavalry unit has charged those archers, but the Pontus ally there is charging his chariots in there, so my guess is that Lando's going to lose his cavalry general there and that other heavy cavalry unit there with all those chariots charging in. That's right, and there you go. So there you go. And there you can just see that Lando's general has just been taken out. His entire unit has just been taken out by those Pontus chariots there. Okay, so that's good for us. That's a general morale bonus has just been taken out. And that was a nice hit there by the barbarian warlord cavalry unit there and all those chariots there. So that was good. Okay, but meanwhile over here on our left flank you can see, as I say, Conan's got his archers in close formation now for more impact, to do more damage, probably shooting into the flank of either Steve's Spartans, or maybe he might be targeting enemy cavalry here with those archers there. As I say, so you can see Steve spotted the danger here with Conan's infantry and is moving units over to try and counter any attack on his left flank. Alright, okay, let's pause the game for a second. So over on our right flank here you can see that Mars has had to turn units to face the threat of that enemy Julii troops coming in on his right flank. Okay, we're in danger here, make no mistake, of being rolled up here from right to left. I don't think the enemy would charge cavalry in there with the pikes, but our Pontus ally there needs to get those units over there maybe to to block the enemy from attacking our right flank there. Okay, Steve's making good inroads here into the enemy team, but don't forget he's up against Julii infantry and Macedonian long pike infantry. As I say, you can see he's got units there covering his flank from Conan. I've just run my infantry all the way over here. Now, just like to show you here, my cavalry are in the long grass. If you look at the writing, can you see they're all hiding? Now what I'm hoping here is Conan's forgotten he's seen my cavalry come over here because they're hiding, and what I'm looking to do is to smash in to Conan's infantry with my cavalry and my infantry here. I'm going in from a slight angle here as well into his flank. We've got the Seleucide cataphract cavalry ready to charge in as well, so make no mistake, we're looking to take out Conan here on the left flank. Now whether we can or not, I don't know, because don't forget he's got really well upgraded infantry and really well upgraded cavalry, so it will be a tall order to do that, but we just have to see. Can you see Mars is moving some pike units over here as well to try and help us against Conan's well upgraded infantry and cavalry? But if you notice here, Conan's moving slightly back and slightly over further to the left flank here. Okay, but make no mistake, we're going to be extremely aggressive on this left flank. We want to take out Conan's army, but as I say, you've seen the upgrades of both Conan's infantry and cavalry, so it's going to be a tall order, I think, to do this. If you notice here, can you see I'm running my infantry forward here? I really want to engage Conan's infantry. We've got a couple of cataphracts here on the right flank ready to charge in, but Conan wisely is pulling back here. I think he's seen the cataphract cavalry. He may well remember where he's seen my cavalry stop. Let's pause the game for a second. So let's say here, I'm moving my infantry over here to engage. We've got cataphract cavalry in several locations here, maybe ready to charge in if necessary. Okay, so we've got all that cavalry, plus don't forget my hiding cavalry there as well, ready to charge in once we engage infantry to infantry there. Okay. Meanwhile, here on our left centre, you can see Steve making still good inroads into the enemy team there. But remember, as I said before, he's up against Julii and the long pikes of Macedon. You've got our Seleucid ally there. And meanwhile, over on our right flank here, you've got a lot of enemy cavalry. Now, this could be maybe pivotal to the outcome of the battle. You can see Bark's general has been routed. Okay, so remember, Pontus' morale is not very good. With the general gone there, that's going to make their morale even worse. And let's say if the enemy cavalry there, I can see Julii and Macedonian cavalry, if they actually come round our flank here, okay, and get in behind us, they could well pick out some good targets to smash into the rear of our troops there. Okay, so as I say here, over on the left flank, I'm still attacking Conan's infantry with my infantry here, trying to engage him there. I'm ready to charge in my my cavalry. Okay, so as you can see there, advancing forward onto Conan's infantry there. Now whether Conan's going to make a stand there, or if he's going to keep pulling back, we'll just have to see. It wouldn't surprise me if he charged his cavalry in now. You can see I'm advancing with my infantry. There you go. He's going to charge his cavalry in there, and bang! As that cavalry charges in. Remember, that's 8 upgrades, 2 experience stripes, gold shield, gold attack. All that cavalry charge bonus there has just smashed into my moving infantry. He would have caused some pretty big casualties there in some of my infantry units with that hit. That was a really nice aggressive cavalry hit there by Conan. So well done to him there. Right, you can see Lando's over on the other flank here, but notice good teamwork. He's brought some units over to this flank there to support his ally Conan. Okay, great teamwork there by Lando, bringing those units over there to support. Okay, now if you notice here, Pontus, our Pontus ally Bark, is bringing his army over in behind our Seleucid and Greek city ally here. Okay, he's not going to concentrate on defending the right flank. He's just going to bring his units over there to get in behind our allies there. Okay, but meanwhile here you can see it's like a bit of a chase game here. I'm still trying to chase Conan's infantry, still trying to engage his infantry there. Right, if you notice here, I've launched my cavalry. I've pulled the trigger on my cavalry here, and I'm now going to try and hit, engage and hold the Julii infantry there with my cavalry, and then charge my infantry in at the same time. But remember, you've got 3 units of Lando's infantry over there as well. See my cavalry going in, and bang, as they charge in there. I'm just waiting for the Julii cavalry to attack now. Conan will throw that cavalry in, I'd have thought, at any time. Remember, those archers there in that close formation will be shooting into my infantry. And there goes the Julii cavalry going in there. Conan's just pulled the trigger, and bang, as that well upgraded cavalry smash into my cavalry and my infantry as well. Okay, so as I say, our tactic here is to try and take out the enemy here on our left flank. And that is some kind of massive battle going on there between our cavalry and infantry there. Okay, right, now can you see here, I just want to draw your attention here, can you see my Seleucid ally has brought some pike units across, and he's put his pikes down. So I can no longer pull my cavalry out at the rear here. I can't retreat out the rear because those friendly pikes will kill my friendly cavalry. Okay, so I can no longer pull, I can't retreat out the rear here. The only way I can get my cavalry out of that fray is to move out to the left flank there. Okay, remember, if I try and pull back with my ally with his pikes down, I will lose loads of my cavalry. Okay, so the only thing I can do if I want to pull my cavalry out is move to the left there and hopefully avoid my allies' pikes there. Okay, so if you notice here, I would have gone out the rear, I would have pulled out the rear there, but I've now got to pull out to the left flank there as I don't want to get my cavalry killed on friendly pikes. Okay. So as you can see here, I'm really pressing forward my infantry against Conan and Lando's infantry units there. Remember, Lando's brought 3 of his infantry units over here as well. But if you notice the positioning of my cavalry here, if I could smash into the flank of the enemy troops there, let's just pause the game for a second. So as I say here, the enemy are heavily engaged. I've got my cavalry out there. They're very battle damaged, but they still got a bit of power there, and I could charge into the flank of those engaged Julio troops who might be able to rout quite a few of them. Meanwhile, over here on our left flank, can you see most of Steve's units have been now taken out? I can see he's just got 3 of his Greek city units left. The rest of his units have been taken out, and Pontus is now moving forward to kind of fill the breach there. But Steve's troops have been engaged for a long time there. You can see Pontus bringing some units out here to defend the left flank. Mars's units there have engaged the enemy troops. And over on our right flank here, you can see Lando really pushing in with his infantry there. Okay, very aggressive. But at the back here, at the back of our team here, can you see our Seleucid ally is fighting Malta's cavalry there. Let's have a close look and see if they've alt-attacked. Okay, can you see the Seleucids here are using their effective against armor maces. Okay, so they've been alt-attacked. Okay, it's effective against armor maces there. You can see them there. My guess is that the Julii general has alt-attacked as well. Yep, you can see the Roman cavalry there using their heavy swords instead of their light lances, so they've been alt-attacked as well. So it'll be interesting to see who's going to win here. But looking at the numbers alone, I would think that the enemy Julii cavalry are going to be beaten here. So it'll be interesting to see what happens at the rear here. Meanwhile, over on our left flank here, can you see I'm charging my cavalry in. I'm going to smash into the flank of those engaged Julio troops. The Julio general is trying to respond with a cavalry hit, but I've managed to smash into those Julio troops before the cavalry can hit me, and bang, I smash in there. Okay, now we've routed a lot of the enemy Julio troops there. Okay, with that combination infantry and cavalry hit there, we've routed a lot of the enemy troops. Okay, but what I'd like to draw your attention to here is Conan's cavalry. My guess is he's going to pull that cavalry back. There's Conan's archers there that we could go on and maybe take out there. Okay, that's something that we might target with my cavalry, and then we could go into the rear of the engaged enemy troops. Okay, Macedon and Julii enemy troops there. Now we've taken out Conan's army here on the left. We could then do that, go into the rear of those enemy troops. Okay, so there's a battle overview of the battle line here. You can see Steve still, as I say, got 3 Greek city units left, which it looks like he's trying to get round the flank. Our Pontus ally is just holding the line there, as well as our Seleucid ally is just holding the line up to the centre here. And you can see that Lando's pulled his infantry back from attacking those pikes head on. And at the rear here, that battle we saw earlier between Julii cavalry and the Seleucid cavalry, you can see that the Seleucid cataphracts there have now routed the enemy Julii cavalry that they were fighting. There's a couple more enemy cavalry units there, but I was thinking if they engage the Seleucid cavalry, they will be routed too. But meanwhile, here on our left flank, as I say here, we've routed most of the enemy infantry there. But as I say, make a note of Conan's cavalry pulling back from the fray. Remember those well upgraded cavalry. My guess is that he'll pull them back there. Can you see he's pulling those cavalry units back there? Okay, so there's a lot of they're battle damaged, but there's still a lot of them there, and they can still make a lot of difference there. And he's pulling that cavalry back. Remember, those cavalry got 8 upgrades. Yes, we've routed most of his infantry there, but wouldn't surprise me if some of his infantry rallied. Look, can you see some of his infantry has already rallied there? My cavalry is so battle damaged, I'm not sure I'll be able to do much against those rallied units. But here you can see, as I say, I'm chasing down the archers. I'm trying to smash into rallied units there, but my cavalry is very weak now, very battle depleted. But as you can see here, Steve and myself are running our units over here to charge into the rear of the engaged enemy Macedon and Julii troops. Okay, so that's what we're going to do. We've also got Seleucid pikemen there as well, Mars' Seleucid pikemen, and we've now got in behind the enemy troops. Right, can you see most of my cavalry was very battle damaged, and most of it has been routed now. Okay, but I'd just like to draw your attention to something here. Can you see our Seleucid ally there with his pikemen? Okay, now you can see the enemy cavalry with those great upgrades on are coming in behind us. Okay, so they are going to be dangerous. Now what maybe our Seleucid ally could do is put a line of pikemen there facing the enemy cavalry, allowing my infantry and Steve's infantry to engage the enemy troops there, being protected by a line of pikemen from that enemy cavalry. Okay, so that might be something that our Seleucid ally could do there, is put an anti-cavalry pike unit across there to protect our rear. As you see, we're pressing in, our Pontus ally is pressing in there, we're pressing in there. There's a lot of enemy Julii troops have been routed on that right flank. I think Mars has been using his Seleucid cavalry extremely well there in routing a lot of the enemy infantry units there. You can see that enemy infantry running there from his cavalry hits. And it wouldn't surprise me if he started to chase down enemy archers as well that have been firing into us all battle. Okay, but meanwhile over here on our left flank, as I say, you can see Steve's Greek city units and my Scipio units attacking the rear of the enemy troops. Okay, doing quite well there, attacking the rear, but we could really do with that Seleucid ally there. Okay, you see that we could really do, see the Conan's, a lot of Conan's infantry, and he's got his cavalry there ready to charge into the rear of our engaged troops. So as I say, it would be great if our Seleucid ally there could just put a line of pikes just behind us facing the enemy cavalry. That would neutralise any attack from cavalry there where we pressed in on the enemy troops there. So to say, if we did, if our Seleucid ally could just put a line of pikes out there to protect our rear, otherwise our rear is going to be exposed to a massive big cavalry hit there. Okay, so you can see I'm charging my cavalry units in there, routed some of the Julii troops. But look over here, which I was just pointing out, you can see the enemy cavalry, 8 upgrades here going in, and bang, make no mistake, it's going for my general. He will be aiming for my general there, trying to take my general out there. All that cavalry, bang, all that cavalry charge bonus there, and now look what he's done there, routed my general and routed most of my Scipio infantry there. Okay, so that was a great hit there by Conan's cavalry, smashing straight into the rear of my engaged Scipio troops, and look how many of my units have been routed, including killing my general. So that was an excellent cavalry hit there by Conan. As I say, he would have targeted my general there, knowing that if he killed my general, then that general morale bonus would go and a lot of my units would rout. And as you can see, most of my Scipio infantry units have now been routed. Great cavalry hit there by Conan, really well done to him there. He's also moving infantry units into the fray as well. Now that could have been a battle-changing charge there by his cavalry. It looked like we were winning. Now that could have, now routing all my units as he's done, or most of my units, as I say, that could be a battle-changing cavalry charge there by Conan. Okay, nice hit by him. You can see our Pontus ally now is being aggressive with his pikemen and moving forward onto the enemy Julii troops and the enemy Macedon troops as well. See Conan using his cavalry general smashing into us as well. He's using his other cavalry units there, charging into other units here on the battlefield. Okay, bad news for us. Okay, you can see all those archers have been shooting into us absolutely mercilessly all the way through the battle, causing loads of casualties. It wouldn't surprise me if Conan got massive kills here. Okay, so Mars' Seleucid general has just been routed. Now we know Seleucid morale is not very good. To lose their general is a big blow to our team. As I say, the enemy archers here have been positioned well and have been shooting into us all game. So they've been causing massive damage there. So not only has our Seleucid allies been routed there, you might notice over in the fray there, our Greek city ally has been routed as well. Okay, you can see, as I say, our Pontus ally here pressing in on the enemy Julii troops there. We've got Julii cavalry in behind us here. And I've got a couple of units left. I've got 7 men in that one unit there. I've got 19 men in that unit there. And I've only got 7, I think, only a few men left in that unit there as well. Okay, but you'll notice that Steve's general, Greek city's general, has been routed, as well as our Seleucid allies general has been routed. Okay, this is pause the game. So as I say, Steve's general's been routed as well. He's got 1 unit left from what I can see with 3 men in. That's how attritional this battle has been. 3 men left in that 1 unit there. We got Julii cavalry in behind us. We got Julii cavalry charging right. Can you see Conan charges cavalry in and bang? But I think the Pontus general spotted that, and I think he turned some of his units there to face that cavalry attack. Okay, so well done to our Pontus ally there. But as you can see, Mad King's Macedon general's just been routed, so that's good news for us. That's an enemy general gone. So you can still see a lot of enemy Julii troops there and enemy Macedonian troops there, and plus their archers, as I say, shooting into us mercilessly all the way through the battle. I think Conan's general's just been routed there, I think. So that's another good news for us. Okay, you can see Steve has got actually 2 units left, 6 men in one and 3 men in another there. Right, did you see those archer units just glow? Okay, those units have just got battlefield promotion. They've done so well, they've killed so many enemy troops, they've just got a stripe on those units, a battlefield promotion. Okay, so anytime you see a unit glow, it is getting a battlefield promotion. New players to Rome Total War. Right, here you can see our Pontus ally is holding line well against the Julii troops. And don't forget the Macedon pikemen are still there as well, fighting our Pontus and Seleucid ally. But our Pontus ally here is really being aggressive with his pikemen here towards the enemy troops, which is good for us. But don't forget, as I said before, Conan's got his archers in close formation for more impact, to do more damage to us here, and he's been shooting into us all the way through the battle. Okay, let's just pause the game here. Right, can you see it? Another one of my units there fought down to the last man, has now been routed. I've got 1 unit left with 7 men in. That's all I've got. Steve's got 1 man in that Spartan unit there and 4 men in that other Spartan unit. That's how attritional this battle has been here. And as I say, the enemy archers there are taking a massive toll, shooting into our troops all the time. As I say, the default archer fire at night is fire arrows, and you can see that there's a lot of fire arrows going into our team. If you look at the dead here, you can see how intense the battle's been in this particular part of the battlefield here. Right, you can see Bark here with his Pontus pikemen there moving forward into the enemy Julii troops. Okay, we've routed the enemy Julii general there, which is good news for us. But as I say, now you can see the fire arrows really coming into us now. Okay, now you can see the fire arrows coming in. I think Conan switched to fire arrows now because he knows our units are so battle depleted and our morale is very low. When fire arrows hit you, obviously you're panicked by the fire arrows and more susceptible to routing. Okay, so that's why Conan switched to fire arrows now, because he knows that with our units being so battle depleted, we could panic and rout. Okay, there you go. You can see the fire arrows coming. See how they light up the particular part of the battlefield where they hit there. Okay, but you can see our Pontus ally now has upped pikes and is now running his units forward to use their secondary sword against the enemy archers here. Okay, so it's a nice move by our Pontus ally. And our Seleucid ally there also is upped pikes and is running troops forward there. Or those are Silver Shield Legionnaires as well going forward. But you can see the enemy archers still shooting in on us here, still causing casualties, still hoping to rout some of our units there with their fire arrows. I think Steve's got 1 unit left now, and same as I've only got 1 unit left as well. So as I say, you can just see how attritional this battle was by just looking at the casualties here that we've both teams have suffered all the way through the battle. And I think with the archer superiority that the enemy team have here, and they've caused so many casualties to us there. Okay, let's just pause again for a second. Just want to show you how intense the battle was. Remember over here on the left flank where we tried to take out Conan's army? Okay, you can see the piles of dead cavalry and infantry there. That's how attritional it was to both teams there, trying to take out the enemy on that left flank of ours. As you look over there, lots of cavalry and infantry integrated there. And you move further up into the centre of the battlefield here, you can see how intense it was there by just looking at the piles of dead. You can see the red cloaked Spartans there. They seem to stick out more than the enemy troops there. But make no mistake, there's loads of both enemy and friendly troops there, all dead. As you move up the battlefield, there's a pile of Seleucid cavalry there. When they must have charged in that particular part there, see how many that they've suffered their casualties. And as you move further up the battlefield there, you can see charred dead troops there where they've been killed by fire arrows. Remember, black charred troops, that's the ones that's been killed by the fire arrows. And as you move further up the battlefield here, you can just see so many dead. So that just goes to show how intense this battle was from start to finish, really. Let's say with so many pike units here, so many 120-man pike units, it does tend to cause a little bit of lag. You might have noticed there was a bit of lag in the battle to start off with. Well, that's of course with those big 120-man units there, and so many of them, they do tend to cause some players a bit of lag. So, hope it didn't spoil the enjoyment of the battle too much for you there. As you can see there now, we're just charging down the last of the enemy archers that are left. I don't think there's a lot of them left there. I say at this stage of the battle, when the battle is clearly lost, I always think best thing to do is just admit defeat. Let's get back into the lobby. See that unit glowing there, Mad King? One of Mad King's units glowing there. Got a battlefield promotion. That unit will now have a stripe on. Let's go up to triple speed here now, just to see out the end of the battle here. As I say, when it gets to this stage, I think it's always best just to admit defeat. Let's get back into the lobby and get a new game hosted there. Wouldn't surprise me if Mad King admitted defeat now with his Macedonians. And there you go, he's just admitted defeat there. So our team has been lucky enough to to go on and win the battle there. Right, straight away I'd like to say really well played to everybody in the game. And as you see, it was a close victory there, as we would have expected. I'd like to draw your attention to the highest kills. You see, it was a night battle, as we said earlier. Highest kills in the game to Pontus, a so-called lesser 31k faction, 2,074 kills. So really well done to Bark there. Some really great kills. Well done to Mars as well with his Seleucides there. He's got some good kills. Well done to Mad King, 1,400 with his Macedonians. But also look at Conan's kills with that small, well-upgraded army. Look, 1,701. Remember, it's only a small army. It's mostly archers. 7 archers, wasn't it? 8 infantry and 4 well-upgraded cavalry. 1,701 kills. So really well done to him. So I just like to say a really great battle to be in, this was. And as I say, it's an unusual night battle. I hope you enjoyed that, something a little bit different, seeing all those fire arrows coming in. And I like the diversity of our teams as well. Seleucide, Pontus, Greek cities and Rome. I thought that was quite diverse there. And then the other team, 3 Romes and Macedon. So I thought it was quite a nice diverse battle there. So I'd just like to say, really well played to Brotherhood member Lando. Really well played to Brotherhood member Mad King. Really well played to Malta. And really well played to Brotherhood member Conan. Really well played, guys. Some great fighting, some great moves there. Well done by you guys. But also really well played to Brotherhood member Mars. Really well played to Brotherhood member Bart with those fantastic kills for Pontus. And really well played to Steve Longshanks there as well. Just like to say, I thought it was a great battle here to celebrate our 80,000 views on our YouTube channel. Spartan Commander saying bye for now.